Good evening, I'm Wendy Mesley, and this is The National. BC fires drive thousands more people from their homes. The view from the front lines, portraits of devastating loss.
Well, it hasn't set in yet. We're still in complete shock.
The heartfelt response from Fort Mac. Plus, what's the science behind these outbreaks? With interest rates set to rise, it's not just your mortgage that could squeeze you.
People will start to panic, perhaps.
The U.S.-Russia connection seems to deepen with Donald Trump Jr. in the spotlight. Plus, what's left for ISIS now that it's lost its coveted capital? It's a warning we've been hearing for days that the wildfire situation in British Columbia would get much worse before it got better. And today, those fears became reality. Fires whipped up by fierce winds prompted more evacuations. At least 14,000 people have now been forced from their homes. There are 219 active fires across the province, covering a combined area of more than 40,000 hectares. Some of the largest fires are burning in and around the communities of Ashcroft and 100 Mile House. That's where we begin our coverage tonight with the CBC's Briar Stewart.
Today, roads leading into 100 Mile House are blocked off. Buildings and businesses in this forestry town stand deserted 24 hours after everyone was told to get out.
Time to go, folks. You can't stay here.
This fire, one of the largest, grew rapidly when the wind shifted.
It's like being in hell, to tell you the truth. It's like being in hell. It's surreal. It seems like the province of British Columbia is burning up right now, and it's a scary, scary thing.
Steve Tresser and his crew are building fire guards, but last night they found themselves putting out flames when part of the fire jumped one of the lines. Today he was heading back into the community where he continues to stay.
They've tried kicking me out of there 2 times now, and I'm not leaving. This is our town, and we're trying to save it.
But many have left. Officials say there are about a dozen fires threatening communities. More than 14,000 people have been forced out of their homes in British Columbia's interior. Roger Brown first fled his place on Friday.
This fire, I mean, it was 360 degrees around the ranch, and I mean, there were literally walls of fire.
So he and his horses headed to 100 Mile House, only to be ordered out again.
Can kind of tell they're a little antsy.
As some move on, firefighters are moving in. 300 from across Canada began arriving today to help those already on the ground. Military aircraft have also been brought in, and officials say the Canadian forces will help track the ongoing evacuations.
Obviously, these fires are very dangerous. We want to make sure that when we're moving people in an evacuation, that we know who they are and where they are, where they left from, where they went to, and Canadian Forces personnel were asked to assist with that as well.
With so much emphasis on getting people to safety and fighting the fire, there's been little information about the destruction left in its path.
We do not know how many properties or structures have been impacted. We have told people we know there has been some structural loss.
Now, officials say they can't confirm how many homes have been damaged across the province because the fires are still raging and fighting them is their main priority. On top of that, there's a lot of heavy smoke, so crews surveying from above can't quite get a clear picture of the damage on the ground. Wendy.
You mentioned that crews coming in from across Canada. How badly is the help needed?
Well, officials are saying that resources are starting to be stretched thin. I mean, more than 200 fires are burning in the province, and that number isn't unprecedented. But what officials say is the fact that these fires spread so quickly and so many of them are threatening communities. I mean, you have to also remember that this is just mid-July and there's more dry weather in the forecast ahead.
Thanks so much, Briar Stewart. There is one community where we do know homes have been lost, the tiny village of Boston Flats near Ashcroft. Today, one resident told their dramatic story to our reporter, Anita Bath.
Just devastating. You know, this is what you do, and it's gone.
At just 25 years old, Rob Donaldson's young career as a rancher has taken a turn for the worst. Wildfire ripped through his property in the Boston Flats area.
This main part here was the milk cow barn, and now it's all gone.
Part of a multi-million-dollar operation, this barn was only 2 years old. Hard to imagine this is what it looked like before. One of the biggest businesses to be hit by wildfire. It held 300 dairy cattle, many of them calves. It only took 20 minutes from when they saw the fire down there on the horizon until the flames reached this barn, cattle still inside. As the barn burned, family, friends, and even strangers risked their lives to save the animals.
There was about 30 of us pulling them by their legs, heads, and tails. At the very end, there was a cow stuck, and everyone was running. I went and grabbed one of my bobcats, and I blew through a wall, and I went and scooped the cow up and drove through a set of flames and got out, and then we dumped the cow, and she got up and she ran.
Incredibly, they managed to save all of the cows except 4.
We're real cow people, so for us to lose even 1 or 2 cows, it's just, it's like losing a family member. Pretty amazing anyways that we didn't lose more.
The others are being treated for burns and smoke inhalation. Rescuers scrambled for 55 hours until the last cow was moved to safety. All that time not worrying about their own welfare.
We had no water or food for ourselves to drink. And at one point we were all running kind of for our lives from this structure. The whole roof and one big piece went boom.
Bradner Farms isn't the only one hard hit in the area. Just across the street is Boston Flats Trailer Park, where on Friday more than 30 homes went up in flames. Today, all that's left are the shells of cars and mobile homes. Only 2 trailers still standing, although not left unscathed.
Anyways, we're going to rebuild, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks we can start tearing this down and start over.
Tough to picture when everything here is lost. Anita Bath, CBC News, Ashcroft.
Thick smoke